Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already and drop a like on this video. Also, go check out the newest deep dive if you have not already. That's going to be linked in the description, pinned comment, all that's at the top. And I'll probably do a card somewhere too. Today's video is once again not a post-game recap. I tweeted earlier today that I don't really feel like doing too many post-game recaps for the remaining games of the season, just simply because I don't really feel it is necessary. There will be good games here or there for sure, but for the most part, it's not really stuff that matters. Once the play-in tournament ends up happening, I'll talk about that. But there'll probably be just a couple more. I'll do them here or there just because I don't want to not upload for too long. But for the most part, I'm not going to be as in on the post-game recaps. I might actually just do a couple of videos just watching one game, because it's at this point where it kind of feels like a chore to watch 3 to 5 a night, and it's better just to, just do one, and I can still make content about it, but it's not as in-depth as it would be with multiple, games. Today's video is about Carmelo Anthony. He just, yesterday I believe it is, set the record for, or not set the record, became the 10th highest scoring player of all time. And the report of it was actually kind of underwhelming. There was not too many people talking about the fact that he became 10th all time in scoring. And the reason I wanted to make this video was not that lack of talk about it, but really kind of a reflection of my own discourse about players, because there's some shit from the past that I semi-regret to an extent. So this is something I debated making a video about with Russell Westbrook, but I ended up not doing that. The thing about all of this is, like, how I have talked about Melo as well as Russell Westbrook over the past few years. You'll probably notice that there's really only one negative Russ video that I have done, and I have not done a Carmelo Anthony video in God knows how long. But I haven't really been negative on those guys in a long time, and that's because I kind of feel like I said my piece in regards to those guys, but also my way of going about opinions, both positive and negative, is not the way that it used to be. I think part of it is that I was a little humbled by just having a lot of dumb opinions from the past. I was talking on the Keep It a Buck podcast yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was talking about how I don't remember most of my old opinions, because as time goes on, I'm not going to remember like a take I had from 2018 when I had 5,000 subscribers and I didn't know as much about the game as I do now, and like just the fact that I've uploaded almost 700 videos, actually including this channel. I think I have gotten up to nearly 700 videos. I've been talking about basketball for quite a long time at a high rate, so there are opinions I don't remember and opinions that don't age well. That's just part of the territory. But usually what annoys me when I go back and get pointed out an old opinion, like something specifically about Russell Westbrook or Carmelo Anthony, is not the opinion, it's kind of the way and the tone that I went about it, where it came off very hater-like, even though I would not and did not consider myself even close to that for both Melo and Russell Westbrook. But I did come off that way. And the problem is that I focused too much on the negatives with those guys without appreciating their talent. And I think most rational Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony fans would say that, yeah, we understand he has these problems. Like, I don't think Russ fans think that his decision-making is always the best and that his jump shot is good. Like, that's just objectively not the case. But they're just, really, their pushback is people focusing so much on the negative, and their take back from that is, bro, appreciate how good he is even with those negatives. And I don't think I was properly doing that in the past, and I was not properly expressing the positives that come with Russell Westbrook, the positives that come with Carmelo Anthony, and instead I was focusing a lot on pushing back against some of the more extreme stuff that I've seen from Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony in terms of like takes about them. Like today I saw something from Scott Brooks where he said Russell Westbrook's going to retire as the second best point guard ever basically implying over Steph because he said Magic is one. So over Steph. And I was like, I felt my past self like get up to be like, no, I'm going to stand up on my soapbox and tell you why that's stupid. But I was like, you know what? Nah, it's not necessary. I mean, I think we're all aware that Steph is higher all time than Russell Westbrook. But regardless, there was no need for me to talk about negative shit about Russell Westbrook more. You know what? I'm not going to focus on the one stupid fucking thing that was said about Russell Westbrook from this entire time. I'm just going to focus on how awesome he has been. Yesterday, he had, I think it was 16, 21, and 24. Just some fucking 2K stats. Like that's ridiculous fucking numbers to put up. And look, is Russell Westbrook the best point guard in the world for winning? No. Is he? Has he necessarily lived up to the potential that he has? Probably not. That's the only negative video I've done about Russell Westbrook in the past, or in the past like year or so. But at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook is an incredible talent, and he should be appreciated as an incredible talent, even with those flaws. Same goes for Carmelo Anthony. I understand that I have gone in a more Russell Westbrook direction in a video titled about Carmelo Anthony, but I have been more critical of Russ in the past, but also Carmelo Anthony, I don't think I was as, like, in the takes I've had about Carmelo Anthony, they have not been as strong as they were in the Russ side of things. I made a video on why he didn't belong in the NBA, Carmelo Anthony, when there was a lot of people like, why isn't Melo on an NBA team? And it was kind of annoying me because I was like, there are pretty clear reasons why Carmelo Anthony is not on a team right now. The issue when I go back and look at that argument that I was making was I was very much in the mindset that he wasn't going to be capable of change, or that he could find the right roster to allow him to kind of be himself just with some minor adjustments, which is exactly what Portland has been. And the reason I was coming from that perspective was I was focusing entirely on the negatives with Carmelo Anthony. The fact that he's not a good defensive player, his efficiency is not always the best, he's not a playmaker. So, hey, if that guy's not going to be a generational scoring talent, then how good is he actually going to be? Well, apparently, still pretty damn solid, which is what he has been in Portland. So I have some regrets in terms of my approach to those takes. Pretty much everything that I said, I think there was truth to that, especially in the time. But the problem was that I was just approaching stuff from like way too negative of an angle. And you may or may not have noticed, and I've had people say this in my comments before, that my videos have become a lot more tame. My opinions have become a lot more tame. I'm just not about I am right and you have to hear why I am right to nearly the extent that I used to be. Sure, I have that part of myself that's always going to be there, and you'll even see it come out at times. But for the most part, even if I believe something strongly, I'm going to present it a little bit not as strong as I actually believe it, both because I've been wrong multiple times, which is fine, but also because that's just simply not how I approach things anymore. Because I have those regrets, but also that's just not who I want to be. I just released a deep dive being very critical of Skip Bayless, and really my issue with so many analysts is that they come off as though they know everything and hear me roar. And I had some stuff from the past where I come off that way, and it kind of embarrasses me to an extent because that's not how I want to talk about basketball and be known to talk about basketball. At the end of the day, it is just basketball, and we should appreciate the good things. Yeah, you can talk about the negatives. Yeah, you can be critical, and I think you should. It is still important to talk about the problems that come with these guys, but it's also important to talk about the positive. And I think that's where the majority of the frustration comes from Russell Westbrook fans, from Carmelo Anthony fans. We understand he has problems, but we still are a huge fan of him because he also has a lot of really, really good things to him. And I've actually come, on the Russell Westbrook thing specifically, I have come more to the side of him being underrated. Generally speaking, when I see people talking about Russell Westbrook, sure, there are still people who put him too high, but for the most part, I am putting him higher than I think the average person. And on top of that, like if you look at my all-time ranking, I think I put Russell Westbrook like 37. I got a lot of pushback from people saying that I put him way too high, but I was like, Russell Westbrook is one of the 40 best talents basketball has ever seen. And I have my issues with him, and I have pointed out those issues. But at the end of the day, that's who he is. So there you go. Uh, I don't think I was a hater of Russ or Carmelo Anthony, but I did come off that way a bit, and I don't like that. And I felt that Carmelo Anthony passing this milestone, as well as what Russell Westbrook has been doing lately with his just nonstop triple doubles and the Wizards doing a lot better. I just felt like I should probably start talking about this shift in mindset and do a video on the topic, because I think some people have noticed it, but I wanted to be front and out and clear in the open with that. So that's what this video was. If you wanted this video to be a top, like me talking all about Carmelo Anthony's all-time ranking, or this milestone, which is a huge milestone, and talk about his career or whatever, didn't do that in this one, so I apologize if that's what you're here for, but I had to talk about this shit at some point, and I felt this was a good avenue to do it. So yeah, that is it. Again, go check out that deep dive. It is going to be linked in the description, pin, comment, all that stuff. But yeah, that's it. Goodbye.